Have you also wondered how to manage your money so you do not get poor when you're older and self-employed? That is one of the number one risks that we as freelancers, self-employed people run, that we are going to become poor when other people get their pension. My name is Nina. I come to you from Frankfurt, Germany. I'm self-employed and an entrepreneur since 8 years now, and I want to share everything that I learned with you. Today I'm going to talk about how I manage my income, how I manage the finances, so to make sure that I put enough away for my pension, that I save enough money, and that I don't get into any liquidity issues. Because what I learned from being self-employed for more than 8 years now is that it is important how much money you make and what your costs are on a monthly basis, but it's much more important that you manage your cash flow. Do you have enough on your bank account so that if surprises and one-off costs come in, that you can handle them? So this is how I manage my finances. Here is my 100%. That is the income that comes in from my clients per month, X euro amount. From that, I immediately deduct my taxes, which is in Germany 35%, give or take. In Germany, you have to pay your taxes in full once per year. So it makes sense to have the strategy out of sight, out of mind, because it's money that doesn't belong to you and you have to at some point pay to the authority. So that is my net income, that is 65%. Let's put that away and change the 65% to a new 100%, because that is my 100% disposable income. Of that, I take away 10% in my savings account. A quick side note on that. In the savings account, I want to have 6 months of fixed costs. So if something happens, I can pay my fixed costs for at least 6 months. This shouldn't be too much. You shouldn't endlessly put away 10% into your savings account. But as soon as your 6 months are full, you can then take everything that's left that can go into the new bucket, which is then for ETFs. And if you have something left after that, it can go into the last bucket, which is your high risk bucket. So having said that, we now go back to the waterfall and show the next bucket, which is then the 10% ETFs. As mentioned, as soon as your savings bucket is full, you can take the 10% and invest it also into ETFs, which will then give you 20%. The next bucket is my favorite bucket, which is fun. I take away 10% out of my disposable income for fun stuff, for things where I want to spoil myself because I work really hard. And having a set amount per month gives me a good conscience. The next bucket is my fixed costs, so rent, contracts, and so on, and that leaves me with 20% buffer. Now, a quick note to how the money flows. Here you see, sorry, it's blurred, you see the money coming into my corporate bank account, which is in Bank A. All the money flows happen automatically. So the first bucket is tax, then into the savings account, then into the ETF funds on the deposit. Then everything goes regarding the fixed costs, so rent, contracts, and so on. And then the last but not least bucket, fun. All of those money streams happen automatically, and in this way I have everything on my accounts where it should be. I structured the banks that tax and savings are on one bank account, where I look at very seldomly. Fixed costs and fund costs are on a second bank account, and then I have a third account for ETFs and funds. This guarantees that I always have enough money. It gives me a good feeling today because I know everything is automized. Everything is automatically deducted at the beginning of each month from my account. And you can set the timing where all of these money streams get deducted from automatically at a time point that makes sense for you. So that should be a point where you always have your monthly income, maybe you have a recurring revenue stream, you always have that on your bank account. And as I programmed everything so the money gets deducted automatically, I do not have to think about it, but I always have a good feeling. When I see my bank accounts, I see that I have enough money left so that I never run the risk of being unable to pay any kind of bill. So start today, set up your system, and never feel guilty again. Have fun and happy freelancing. Bye.